Welcome to the Reese Report. I'm the mouth of the North, Andrew Reese, and we are back for our Super Bowl picks. Not only that, but we have the NBA trade deadline happening on Thursday, and we're going to discuss two blockbusters. Uh, Jose is going to mention something about LeBron James, and we are also going to discuss. We're also going to discuss what we might do with the Raptors heading into the trade deadline Thursday at 4 p.m. I am joined this week by Jose Carlos Gomes, and Brian King Hosein has returned to the show. For those of you looking for Gil Santos, he's at the Raptors game today watching his Spurs get beat by the Raptors. We will, I believe he has the Eagles this weekend, so I'll go on a limb and say he has the Eagles. The rest of us will make our picks live. Jose has already won. Congratulations to Jose. Now, I'd like to say, guys, we're going to be shifting gears after this show today as the football season ends on Sunday with a great party that's going to be held at Tony Barbosa's. We're hoping we can get him on the show after the party to discuss the Super Bowl. So we will discuss the Super Bowl and what happened next week, but we will be switching gears to the Raptors and the Leafs. So all you Raptors and Leaf fans out there, I'm sure you're going to look forward to that. Hopefully we get a few more viewers, a few more subscribers, and a few more people talking about this show because I got a lot of Raptors and Leaf fans out there that respond to me on Twitter. So all of y'all come and take a look at the show after the football season is over. But let's get to the Super Bowl, and let's start with Jose. Eagles, Chiefs. It looks like Patrick Mahomes is going to be 100% healthy. That's all I've really heard so far. Tomorrow and Friday are going to be more decisive on the Super Bowl. I will say, Deebo Samuel, I appreciate what you said, but you can't look like a sore loser, okay? We did lose our two quarterbacks, but the team quit. So let's not act like the Eagles didn't deserve to go there. They won the game, and there's nothing you can do about it. We've had quarterback problems for 3 years. Go talk to John Lynch about it. Don't cry on TV about it. Jose, who do you got in the Super Bowl?
Tough game, man. Tough game to pick. I was leaning towards the Chiefs, but knowing the way the Eagles defense has been playing, I don't see no big options on wide receiver that can hurt him in the passing game. And I see the Eagles defense offense running the ball on them. It's another week of health for Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to take the Eagles as well. I think the Eagles been playing well. They deserve it. They bet my 49ers, even without no quarterback or with quarterback. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win the chip this year.
Brian, we saw that you had a Philadelphia Eagles hat on last week. Am I to assume the Eagles, who completely annihilated your Vikings week 3, are going to win the Super Bowl?
I'm going with the Eagles. And here's why. Jose, you just said it, you broke it down, right? But on the other side of it, I just don't want to see Brittany and Jackson doing their stupid TikToks, man. Like, come on, can we just cancel them already? But I honestly, from a standpoint, like as a football fan watching it, I do see the Eagles like possibly taking the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though they're two great teams, they're both deserving to be in the Super Bowl. I like it, and I'm willing. I'm excited. I cannot wait to make my prop bets. Like how long Rihanna is gonna play for, right? But on the other note, no, seriously, Reese, I know you're good. I know you're good with this. So honestly, what I see from the Eagles is Jose just said they have the wide out game, and they can also pound the ball through the middle and get it up there. And it's just a matter. We all know. Have we not all watched the movie any given Sunday? It could happen. You never know. The Kansas City can win, but my pick is the Eagles. And where the fuck is Gil?
Yeah, he's watching. He decided to go to the Raptors game and watch his Spurs. So good on him. I'm gonna get to my pick. I am also taking the Eagles. The Eagles defense has been awesome. Uh, I know that my team had an excuse and they want to give excuses, but if I watched that game honestly, the Eagles defense took us out, and they've been the best team in the league pretty much the entire season, outside of Jalen Hurts getting hurt. Um, Patrick Mahomes is an incredible quarterback, an incredible player who can single-handedly win games. But I look at that Eagles team and I don't see a weakness. Um, if they're healthy, they have the wide receivers, they have the running back, they have the quarterback who can run. They've got a great defense and a great offensive line, and Kansas City does not appear to be 100% healthy. It's Mahomes or bust for Kansas City, but Philadelphia can beat you in a multitude of ways. At 1.5, I think it's a great price. Either way, I expect the game to go over. I'm predicting 27-24, and Jalen Hurts will be MVP. Jose, do you have a score and an MVP?
The Eagles are gonna win 27-20, and the MVP is gonna be Miles Sanders.
Whoa!
Quickly, Brian, an MVP and a score quickly.
Jalen Hurts. Because
Okay.
they always give it to the quarterback. So
yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I think this will not be a bad game. This will be a good game. So we'll see what happens. But those are our Super Bowl picks. As far as I know, Gil has the Eagles, so we're all in the Eagles. That could be a bad omen, but we'll see. I just think that Mahomes has struggled in big games in the playoffs at times, and this might be one of those times. So now we are going to get into the NBA trade deadline. We had two massive trades happen this week. Actually, today and this week. We'll start with the Kyrie. We'll start with the Kyrie Irving trade. Kyrie Irving asked for a trade after not getting a contract extension without provisions. If I'm the Nets, I would have put in provisions as well, because that guy doesn't like to show up to work. So I don't blame the Nets. They called his bluff and they immediately shipped him to Dallas. And they shipped him to Dallas because they didn't want to send him to LA. LA offered something better. They said, no, thanks. We're not sending him to LA where he wants to go. We're going to ship him to Dallas. They traded him along with Markieff Morris for Spencer Dinwiddie, Finney Smith, the 2029 first unprotected, and 2 seconds. I don't think that this makes Dallas outstandingly better, because they have no defense whatsoever. So they're going to score a lot of points. They're going to need 2 basketballs because Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic are ball dominant. It's going to be a very interesting chemistry issue, but I don't think this helps Dallas win a championship. I think they're terrible defensively, and I think they're going to struggle in the playoffs, even with Kyrie Irving.
I disagree with you.
Okay, that's fine. You're going to get your turn. And the Nets, they're going to go with Cam Thomas and hope for the best. Jose, what are your thoughts on this trade?
I think it's a great trade for the Mavs, man. Last year, you saw what the Mavs can do without any superstar helping out Luka Doncic. They went to the Western Conference Finals. Okay, so this year you add a Kyrie Irving. Yeah, he's the problem guy in the locker room, but the man can flat out play. If they can learn how to play with each other, that's gonna be a crazy duo right there. It's gonna be hard to stop him, because now Luka Doncic doesn't have to be dribbling up the ball all the time. He can be looking for a shot. He can be looking for a screen for here and there. It's going to open up the game for Luka Doncic so much. It's not even funny. He was averaging 30 points last year in the playoffs. This year, he's probably going to average 40 points in the playoffs. So now it just opens up the whole game for the team. I do think they need another weapon to pick up another guy. Maybe to me, like an OG would have been a perfect guy for them to pick up in the trade deadline.
They need a big.
What was that?
I said, yeah, they need a big.
Yeah, and they also need a big too, because Wood's always injured. Christian Wood's always injured, right? So if they can pick up a big and maybe like a D and 3 guy, that team will be dangerous in the Western Conference.
Brian, what are your thoughts on this trade? I will point out that Luka's usage rate is ridiculous, as is Kyrie's. They both need the ball to be effective. I don't think Luka Doncic can be a stand around shooter. He has to be able to drive the ball and control the game. That's how he's effective, and the same goes for Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving will be more likely to be the one standing around waiting for the ball than the other way around. This is Luka Doncic's team. Brian, go ahead. What do you think of this trade?
Okay. Jose, were we separated at birth? Because we think alike at all fucking times. Okay, can I say that? Yeah, I swear. Okay, listen. With Kyrie landing in Dallas, okay, and giving up Dinwiddie, I think that's that shit. Dallas definitely did win that trade, but at the same time, like you just said, Reese, they might need two balls, but and even though Kyrie is a cancerous person in a locker room, which we have spoken about before prior to this, um, I think Luca has actually got his guy that he can go off ball with. And I agree with you that Luca can put up the points, put up the numbers. It alleviates him from the load that he has to carry because he has nobody on there. And it's actually funny. I was talking with my boy, shout out to Bobby. His kid, 11 years old, and I've been coaching. He, I called his game just like if Kyrie and Luca had a kid, right? Just the way the kid can move. So I'm very curious and very interesting to see what they can pull out there in Dallas. Like I know Mark Cuban is spending the money on that, right? But how well can that work for Kyrie? Because look, man, can I say this? Look how many teams he's been to, and look how many franchises he's destroyed. You know, like he's a LeBron guy. He just goes to a team, takes over, and then gets out. Like he and Reese, to your point, you said that he turned down the contract, but he turned down the contract, and he also said after that he, no matter what, how much money they're gonna pay him, he will not stay.
Yeah,
That's
there's
my
no guarantee that Irving stays in Dallas. I think it's a big gamble, but I think the way Dallas looks at it is this. If he doesn't resign, they've got a bunch of cap space to spend on players. So either way, they're going to rebuild this team. I'm not sure Kyrie stays. I think Kyrie's going to LA. That's why the Lakers moved Westbrook today. So
wait. Can I ask you a question? Do you think
yeah,
Dallas actually thinks they can be in position to win a championship, getting
no,
Kyrie?
no, I don't. Jose thinks so. I don't. I don't. I don't think they beat the Clippers. I don't think they beat Denver. Um, but we'll see. I mean, it should be an interesting clash of styles because they play the same game. Both ball dominant guards that need the ball to be effective. So we'll see. And defensively, Dallas couldn't get any worse with those two on the floor. So we'll see. Let's go to the second trade that happened today. The Los Angeles Lakers finally got rid of Russell Westbrook. I mean, I don't know how they did it, but they did.
Sure,
They traded him.
Westbrook or Westbrick?
Well, both, but Westbrook is finally gone. And it's kind of sad for me because I don't get to see the blooper reel of him turning the ball over anymore because he's going to be in Utah. So Utah gets Westbrook, a 2027 unprotected first round pick, and filler. I'm just going to say filler. Anderson and Jones. I don't know. It's just filler. Minnesota gets Mike Conley with a first round pick and a second round pick, and Nell Alexander Walker, who I like. And the Lakers get D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt, and Mikal Beasley. Jose, what do you think of this trade?
It's for the Lakers to ship out Westbrook. They finally found somebody that was interested in taking him. Yeah, it's gonna cost him a first round pick. Knowing in 2027, knowing the way this team's going, maybe it's gonna be a top five pick because probably LeBron's not gonna be there, and AD, the way AD's upset right now too, he's probably gonna be gone too. So Yeah, but we're looking at the trade, I think it's a good trade for everybody. It's a new start for Conley. He's gonna be placed back. He's gonna play with his buddy Rudy Gobert in Minnesota. D'Angelo Russell comes back to LA, gives him an option of shooting 3 pointers, and like it's gonna take it's and the what's it called? The sneaky guy in that trade is that guy that they picked up from Utah. What's his name? Uh,
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. That's the
Yeah.
that's the sneaky guy in that trade. That guy, he's a very good player, and he in LA, if he gets the minutes to play, he's gonna produce, man. He's gonna produce. But regardless, it was an even trade for everybody. And at the end of the day, it's like you said, if Kyrie doesn't end up signing in the Mavs, you'll join LeBron in LA, the Lakers next year. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of this trade. I think the Lakers get slightly better. I don't think it really helps them win a championship or get any further in the playoffs. Maybe it slightly makes their record a little bit better, but the Lakers are bad. They can't defend. D'Angelo Russell and Beasley are not going to help them defend. Vanderbilt could be a backup, perhaps start for them, maybe help them a little bit, but they're just really bad defensively. And the Lakers needed some bodies, and they were tired of Westbrook blowing up at the coach. So that's what happened there. Minnesota getting Conley, they just basically became the Minnesota Jazz. I'm not really sure how that helps them either. But they wanted a change from I guess D'Angelo Russell. I like Walker, and they get picks out of it. I don't know if Minnesota need to get some picks back after after trading them all for Gobert. So that makes sense there. Utah's rebuilding, and by trading for Westbrook, they're either trying to barely make the playoffs to play in or go further backwards, because I think Westbrook's going to ruin the kids on that team and the marketing and Clarkson and stuff like that. I don't think that's going to work, but they wanted another unprotected first pick. So it makes sense for all three teams. I'm not sure how it helps any of them. But Brian, what's your best guess?
Okay. Guys, I used to study psychology when I was younger, probably about before I even met you, Reese, probably like 30 years ago. So what I would say is it boils down to LeBron wanting to decide what's going on and who's going where and what's going on where. Um, Westbrook not agreeing with it, and he had to be on the move. Like we saw what was it? The last game for the Lakers as of this recording, when LeBron broke Kareem's points record. What was AD doing? He was chilling, right? So maybe Westbrook can be a cancer to the Utah team. Maybe he was on the Lakers. Maybe um but as this trade comes around, I just find it funny. I just want to laugh that D'Angelo Russell is going back to the Lakers after LeBron got his ass out of there. I just find that shit hilarious. Okay, but I do see the Lakers winning this trade. It's unfortunate West Brick had to leave, right? But we all saw the sign over the course of the season. We've seen the body language, the way they move, how it played out, their wins, their record. We've seen it. We've
Yeah.
seen it. Have I am I am I am I wrong? We've seen it. Okay.
Right.
So I think we all knew it was inevitable that Westbrook would be on the move. We're also thinking about AD at some point,
Yeah.
unless he's gonna stay, right? So this Lakers team is in shambles, but I do see the positive side of having D'Angelo Russell return to the Lakers.
Yeah, we'll see how this works out. I'm surprised they found a trade partner for Westbrook, but Utah is looking to stockpile picks, and they just got another one. So now we're going to shift gears to our Toronto Raptors. And I wanted us to talk about the Raptors, see if you want to make a move, not make a move. What do you want to do with this team that's 26-30? I will start off, and then I will let you guys decide if you want to do something or do nothing with this team. So I'll put my Masai hat on. The trade that I came up with is OG. Now, if I'm going to lose OG, because I think Fred will be traded, but I don't have a trade for him. But I came up with this trade for OG, and here's this trade. So OG and Malachi Flynn, who I want out of the Raptors no matter what, I'll trade him to Memphis for Aldama, Tyus Jones, a first-round pick, and 2 seconds. That is my trade for OG. I think it helps the Raptors get better at center with a 7-foot guy who can shoot threes and also block and fill the lane, grab rebounds. Tyus Jones will be a great replacement for Malachi Flynn and or Freddie. So if they keep Freddie, he's a much better and great backup for other than Flynn. If it's not Freddie, then Tyus Jones can start for them and can actually run the offense better. Plus, they get a unprotected first-round pick in 2023 for OG, who wants out, as far as I know. So that's my trade and what I would do. Whether Fred is moved or not doesn't matter, but I assume Fred will be moved as well. I just don't have a trade for him, especially after LA and Dallas both made moves for point guards, which lessens his movability. Jose, what would you do with the Raptors?
Listen, this is playing out like the.
He said, "Listen, okay, let's go."
This is playing out like the stupid Brooklyn Nets in the offseason with Kevin Durant being traded to this and packages this and packages this. Listen, the Raptors ain't making no deals, man. The Raptors are sticking with the team that they have. Okay. The only one I see is getting traded will be Van Vliet, because he's off like in last year of his contract, and I see him probably going to Brooklyn because Brooklyn now needs a point guard. So with him, maybe we get Spencer Dinwiddie back in a couple of first-round picks, or one first-round pick and whatever, like just to even out the cap space. But I don't see the Raptors. I don't think the Raptors are going to be doing any deals, man. I think they're going to stay put. They're going to stay put, and they're going to run out the season. And they've been playing ball lately, lately well, man. They've been playing very well. They went on the West Coast trip 4-3. They could have been at least 6-1. They could have done that road trip at 6-1. They were in every single game. So if I was Masai, I wouldn't touch the team right now, and then just wait it out for the off season. You can sign and trade with Van Vliet and stuff like the same thing you did to Kyle Lowry. It's just going to be the same thing. They're going to stay there, and then at the end of the season, that's when Masai will make his deals. That's all I got to say.
Before I get to Brian, what did you think of my trade?
Yeah, it's good. Like, listen, if you trade OG. Listen, if you trade OG, you better be getting a good package coming back, because
he's getting 20 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, he's the player on the Raptors that has the most value besides Siakam, that has the biggest return back. So you better get 2 first-round picks and a couple of players that are as good, like maybe not as good as him, but like that will be playing, that you can plug into the lineup right away. So. But I wouldn't trade OG. You're still under contract. He wants to be the man. Like, he wants to be. He said that he came out. He said doesn't want to be traded. He wants to be part of Toronto. There's not a lot of guys that say that, man, because there's a lot of guys that just want to get the hell out of here after their contract ends. So when guys come out and say that, that means that they like it here. You know what I mean? So I just say keep the team. You keep the team the way it is. Play out the season, and then on the off season, if you want to make trades, then you make your trades. But it's gonna be like the Kyle Lowry same thing, like 2 years ago, same thing.
Yeah. OG also stated he wanted a bigger role, which he knows he's not going to get from Toronto. I I always take the I want to stay somewhere thing with a grain of salt. We saw this with John Tavares in New York, where he said he loved it in New York and wanted to stay, and then he took off to Toronto where he actually
But
wanted to go. So I don't believe a word
honestly,
players
Reese,
say when they say stuff like that.
honestly, he doesn't have the game to be a
I
main two goal
listen,
guy.
I agree with
The
you,
man,
Jose, but in his mind, he believes he can be better than
okay,
what he is in Toronto.
then prove it. Then prove it. You want to be the
Yeah,
man, you got to prove it.
we did talk about that on To the Point.
Yeah, we
Yes.
did. Yeah,
So
like
he
We did.
thinks if he
doesn't.
moves, he could be better. That's what he believes.
Okay, so
Okay.
then develop your game and get better and do that because
Yeah,
you haven't showed it all season. You
I
haven't
agree.
showed it that.
Brian, what would you do with the Raptors?
Okay. Jose, I'm saying it for the second time on this episode. We were separated at birth. Okay. The Raptors shouldn't do anything except for
Wow.
maybe shipping Freddie, right? They have the pieces. They have the development coaches. They have a lot there. The only person that should really leave the Toronto Raptors is the coach Tim Roach's doppelganger, Mr. Nick Nurse. Okay? Because he's not leading that team, and therefore the team is not doing it. Like Jose just said, they went 4-3. They could have went 6-1,
They also could
right?
have went one and
On that,
six.
on that West Coast swing. But so I don't see, like, if I'm sitting there coaching that team, I don't want anybody gone. I want the coach himself
I don't
gone.
disagree with Nick Nurse being
That's
gone. I
that
don't.
that's what I do. I think he's honestly. I had this conversation with a few people last night, and we all agree that Nurse is just basically a glorified coach. Like, he was just handed the reins, got the championship, and now you put the NN on your hat and talk a lot of shit, but you're not utilizing the players. Like, come on, guys, come on. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you guys right now. Look at the roster the Raptors have. You go Pascal, you go Scotty, you go Freddie, you go Gary Trent, you go Kevin Burke, you go Malachi Flynn. I know you don't like that,
We know the
Reese,
roster,
but
Brian. The bench sucks. They got no bench.
no, when you look at the roster, if they are utilized properly, if they are utilized properly, they can become a contending squad. But they're not being utilized, and that falls on the leadership, because who is the leader ultimately when it comes to a team? Like, I see you call Reese. I see you on the Reese report saying "the dumbass" or whatever
LeBlame.
beliefs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it comes down from leadership. Like, you have the talent available. It's right there. It's like whether you turn on
They
the faucet to get your water or not, you're an idiot, right?
they have the same
So
team from last year, and they're playing 10 times worse than they did last year.
Yes.
They have
The
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 exact
player
same.
the players have regressed though. Let's not act like the players are not responsible for regressing here. They have
yeah, but
regressed.
they're not being used, bro. This is my point. They're not being used the
I
way
mean,
they
Chris
should.
Chris
They're
Boucher
not
is
being
still playing
developed.
well. He's by far the
Yep.
best bench player they have. Precious Achua has played well since his return. The starters are doing their thing. They're not terrible, but they're also not great, and that's why you have a 26-30 record. But the Raptors have no bench. Their bench is the 28th rated bench in the NBA. Malachi Flynn is a
Because they're not being
disaster.
used.
Okay,
Because they're
Delano
not
Banton has
being
been sent
used
to the
is my
G League
point.
this year. Otto Porter's been
Why?
hurt all season. Okay,
Yeah, but you're telling me
Coloco should be
go back.
playing more. Coloco should be
Yes,
playing more, but is not.
yes.
Young is old and therefore doesn't play as many minutes as
So
the
give
Raptors might
those
like.
minutes. Why isn't Banton playing? Last year he was good enough to play 5, 6, 10 minutes a game, and this year
Yeah,
he's not playing. Why? What's the difference? You have this kid and Ron Harper Jr., a rookie from Rutgers. This kid is amazing. He played lights out last year for Rutgers. Give the kid a chance. Let
I
him
like Ron
play.
Harper. I like Ron Harper. Yeah,
Like, and even Champagne, when the times that he came in last year, he played well. Like, and
Yeah, they
all of a sudden,
released him. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like now, this year
Yeah.
he's not good because you released him.
So
No, it's just there's a lot of bullshit. I think the coaching is was
Jose, do
horrible.
you agree with me?
No,
You agree with me?
100%. Yeah, because the squad is the same squad as last year. It's just this year he's more worried about acting than he is coaching. Just smarten up and
Yeah.
freaking and coach the team. Because when
Yeah.
he actually coaches the team and they haven't playing good defense, they actually win games.
Yeah.
You go to Sacramento, you beat a good Sacramento team. You go to Phoenix, you beat a good Phoenix team. Like it's not that easy going to the Sacramento, beating Sacramento this year. They're a really good team, and you go there.
They outscored Sacramento. Yes, they played great against Sacramento and they lost at home to Sacramento. They beat Memphis without Ja Morant and 3 starters. They beat Phoenix without Devin Booker. So like, let's not get too excited about the wins they had. They did lose to the good teams that they faced.
Yeah. So what's your point? The Phoenix threw Boston a beating without Devin Booker. So what's your point? They whooped them by 30 points.
They didn't beat them by 30 points.
Yeah, they did. Check
they beat him by 10, but that's okay. They didn't beat him by 30.
They were up by 30 during the game. Like it was a beatdown.
Check and they just put in the subs after.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But I don't think the Raptors are as good as you guys are make them out to be. Yes, I agree. Nick Nurse should be disciplined or fired. But I don't think that Nick Nurse is so bad that he's just not playing guys. If these guys could play, he would play them. When they won the championship, the bench saw a lot of minutes. Fred VanVleet was coming off the bench. Norm Powell was coming off the bench. Serge Ibaka was coming off the bench because they could all play. Delano Banton, Malachi Flynn, these guys can't play. That's why they don't get minutes. Malachi Flynn played 10 minutes today against San Antonio, the worst team in the NBA. He was minus 13, 0 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. So if you can't play against San Antonio, you don't deserve to play against anybody else. Okay? Delano Banton's been in the 905. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off, Brian. Delano Banton's been in the 905 the entire season because he struggled in the summer league. He struggled in the preseason. That's why he went down there. Plus, he's been hurt most of the year. That's why he hasn't played. The only one I agree with you on is Koloko. Koloko should be playing more, but then Precious came back and played great in the center position. So therefore, he's not playing as much as he maybe should. Other than that, they don't have a bench.
Can I ask you
a question? Raptors are bad because they don't have a bench, and the starters have regressed. Freddie regressed. Gary Trent regressed a little bit. They're nowhere near as good as they were last year, Freddie and Gary Trent. Scotty Barnes, the first half of this season, struggled mightily, and he's come on recently, but it's a little too late. Siakam's been solid all year, but you can't be successful with guys being inconsistent all season long.
Okay, can I ask you a question to what you just said there?
Yes, we got 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's keep this quick. The Toronto Raptors they're developing players. They have young players. Koloko, we've spoken about this to what you just said. So I'm going to keep this quick. But we also have a developmental coach in Rico Hines. Fucking develop the fucking team, for God's sakes.
Well, that's why they sent Koloko down. That's why they sent Banton down. It's why they had Harper down there.
Banton killed it.
Right?
Malachi killed it. Koloko's killing it. These guys are killing it down there. Yeah. But why can't they perform on the main roster?
Because it doesn't always translate to the NBA. I mean, Malachi Flynn's been in the league for 3 years, and he's not got better. He's gotten worse. So that's my thoughts on that. I wanted to give Jose, we got 3 minutes left. I wanted to give Jose some time to talk about LeBron James and him passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the all-time scoring record. Go ahead, Jose. Give him his flowers if you want.
Listen, I don't know. You guys are all a bunch of haters, but you have to give the man props. He broke the scoring record. Listen, Jordan didn't break it. Kobe didn't break it. But the man did break it.
Because they won. They didn't stat pad.
Doesn't matter. He still made the he still bet Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record, and I'm telling you right now, I don't see anybody else going to be breaking that in the NBA. I don't see players lasting that long, 20 years in the league. A guy's at 38, averaging 28 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Come on, man. You got to give the man the props. That guy is a hell of a player. I'm not saying he's the greatest. He's second to Jordan. Hands down, in my opinion, he's second to Jordan. But if he can win a couple more chips, if he can lead a team to winning a couple more chips, he'll be in the talks of being the greatest of all time. But until then, Jordan will be the greatest. And but I just gotta give him his props for beating the record. I don't think nobody else will ever beat his record in points. You can shove those fingers, you know where. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, I don't think LeBron is going to be winning any more championships. His teams are just not very good right now. I give him props for breaking the record. Congrats. Yes, it's a little bit of stat padding, but for someone to do it for 20 years, I don't see that ever happening again. It's like Tom Brady. I don't see anyone playing for 25 years in the NFL, especially today with all the players that take games off. I don't see that record, that record ever being broken. He's still playing, so it's going to go higher. So I give him his flowers for that. I just find it funny that the team lost again at home to Oklahoma City. And Anthony Davis was sitting on the bench and didn't give a damn when he broke the record, which was very funny. We got about a minute and 20, Brian. You want to close this off? We got a minute 15. You got to quickly get your thoughts in here.
Hey.
Quick.
There, go click subscribe, click like on the Reese Report. Go support Jose. Go support Andrew Reese. Go check out Andrew Reese when he's on Basketball Rewind with the one and only Kenny Nisbet. Support him when he's also on To The Point. Right? So can I sign us out? On behalf of all three of us?
I'll sign us out. I knew Brian wouldn't have anything to say about LeBron because he doesn't care. And so that's fine. But that's our show for this week. We will be back next week with our Super Bowl review, and we'll get into Raptors and Leafs as we switch gears after the football season ends. We will have Tony Barbosa on, who's holding the Super Bowl party. I'm sure we'll have some great stories for you next week. But until then, I'm the Mouth of North, Andrew Reese. That's Jose Carlos Gomes, and that is Brian the Hater Hosein. We will see you next week on the Reese Report.